A woman ditched city life to spend 5 years living alone in a Utah ghost town where there's no running water. A casual plane conversation changed the trajectory of Musa's life, leading her to the tiny abandoned town, which was built in the 1880s as a railroad service station and was once home to hundreds. She was on a plane to Utah for vacation when the lady sitting next to her mentioned Cisco as a fun stop on the way to the Canyonlands National Park, where Musa was headed. When Musa first visited Cisco, she said she was scared, unsure about whether the town was actually abandoned. She said some of the structures looked sort of new and that she'd spotted a satellite dish. Unusual, considering the town was mostly abandoned by the 1970s, when Interstate 70 was built nearby. Cisco has garnered a few mentions in pop culture. The town made a cameo in films like Vanishing Point and Thelma and Louise, and Johnny Cash recorded a song named Cisco Clifton's Filling Station in 1967. Long after she returned home, Musa said she couldn't stop thinking about the tiny town, and so she bought it. Unable to shake Cisco, she found the owner of the land it sits on and bought it. While Musa sidesteps questions of how much land for how much money, she told High Country News it cost her around as much as a used car. Musa has been refurbishing the town bit by bit since 2015, transforming it into an artist's residency. Musa says that she wasn't really all that handy before taking on this project, but that she's since probably fixed, replaced, or built pretty much anything a person can in a house, from putting in windows to installing a stove. She's currently renovating a trailer and building a sauna. Musa said that as an artist, all she could see was the town's potential and the many materials she could work with. While she said that Cisco has been looted a million times over and filled with unwanted trash people left behind, to her, that stuff is the jackpot. I don't want to recreate an old Western town. I'm not interested in making a set for a movie or something. I'm more interested in building things that are around and having some kind of presence, she said, adding that she loves the history everything in Cisco seems to have. Musa has not been alone in her ghost town much, as her artist residency, called Home of the Brave, has taken off lately. Since launching Home of the Brave in 2019, Musa has had a rotating cast of artists stay with her, as well as friends who use the space for their work. I don't want to say that I can't keep people away, but it's rare that I get time alone, she said. I have to actually leave Cisco if I want to be alone, and that's great. That means the thing I am doing is working. It's drawing in a lot of people. Musa has learned a lot in her 5 years in Cisco. Learning to be comfortable with myself is probably the most valuable thing I have learned out here, because from there, you lose a lot of fear, she said. There's a lot of anxiety around social things and approval. You become more confident as a person when you're more comfortable with yourself without the approval of others. She said she was initially scared and unsure whether she had made the right choice in buying Cisco, but filled her days with work. I had to keep telling myself, just because there's no one here right now doesn't necessarily mean that there never will be. Just because I'm alone right now doesn't mean I'll be alone forever, she said. You can only be afraid for so long. Eventually, you just get tired of it. Eventually, you have to sleep. And then you realize there's no axe murderer showing up. I knew that if I wanted to, I could always leave, she said. 5 years in, however, it looks like Musa doesn't plan on it.